would say 99% of my marketing is not what I did to get to that first level of success. Like what you said with the meme pages, we almost never post with meme pages anymore. Instagram's pretty saturated. People understand ads. The knowledge of the user is pretty high. So cost benefit is really different now.
This month's sponsor is Triple Whale. Supercharge your ad campaigns with their revolutionary analytics platform, because better data means better campaigns. If you're running any type of paid media, then you need to be using Triple Whale. Find out more at trytriplewhale.com. Hello and welcome back to the DTC Deep Dive. Let's talk about dicks. Yes, you heard that correctly. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about male genitalia. Actually, we're going to be talking to Adam from Dick to Your Door, which is a DTC company in which you can send a chocolate penis to your friends or your family members' home, whatever you're into. Adam has such an incredible story, from making chocolate penises in his garage for the first few years of his e-commerce journey, to acquiring his main competitor, to trademarking the phrase "eat a dick and eat my ass." Yep, you heard that correctly. It's an interesting episode, so get ready. Welcome to the D2C Deep Dive. Adam, how are you doing?
Yeah, doing well. Doing well for a Wednesday.
Good, I'm glad. So you have, when you first messaged me and you told me what your product was, a few things went through my mind. One of them is I didn't realize that this thing existed. And the other one was, how the heck are you marketing that? So if people have no idea who you are and your journey, introduce yourself first, and the world of dicks, as I'll now call it.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. My name's Adam Hascall. I own a couple different websites in the DTC space for pranks, gag gifts, kind of novelty items, from stationery all the way down to chocolate dicks. And chocolate dicks are where I kind of cut my teeth in the DTC world. So I'm sure we'll get into it, but anonymously sending chocolate dicks to people in the mail as a prank. And
yeah.
Here we are.
What else would you want to send in the mail is the question, right? So
right.
When you first came up with the idea, I've done a little bit of research. I've kind of read where the idea came from and stuff like that. But let's start with that. Where did the idea come from for sending dicks in the mail? Because it's the strangest idea for a D2C store.
Honestly, so it was a joke. It wasn't. This where I am now was never part of any plan that I thought I was going to get into. I was driving cross country, middle of the country, back to California where I live, and stopped in Lincoln, Nebraska, and I was in my mid-20s. So as you do with your buddies on a cross country trip, you take a quick stop and go to a sex store randomly, and I found a chocolate dick mold, and I thought it would be a funny thing to put something in the mold that ended up being chocolate and send it to my buddies here in California. So it really wasn't ever supposed to be something that was past that, but it was infuriating my friends. So I had a buddy throw up a website, and I was really interested in e-commerce. Listening to Tim Ferriss podcast and like business and entrepreneurship, and I was in sales, and so I threw a heat map up and saw we were getting traffic through a shopping cart up, and in the first or second day, it's been 6 or 7 years now, but we got an order, and I had no idea what to do. And long story short, the rest is history, I suppose. But the long and short of it is, this was never supposed to be. I'm not even a big chocolate fan, to be honest. Like it was just it was the vessel,
the perfect company to be running then, right?
Yeah. I know way more about chocolate now than I probably ever would have.
I bet.
I guarantee that I ever would have.
So you mentioned a little bit there that you had no idea that it would become what it has become. So for those who have no idea where you are, what has it become? So it's gone from, you sending, chocolate dicks to your mates to now run a store. Whereabouts are you in that journey?
Yeah, so what was just one product has become, I think, probably 60 across two different stores, 60 to 70 SKUs.
How can you have so many SKUs on a different penis? Like, are we talking different
So,
girth, different color, different, you know?
right. So we have dark chocolate, white chocolate, milk chocolate. We have giant gummy dicks. We have chocolate buttholes. We have chocolate shits. We have different occasions. We do our limited editions for like trending topics, like the Super Bowl or the Masters tournament, or like obviously the holidays and Valentine's. So we release different boxes. A lot of it comes with the packaging,
Yeah.
revamping the packaging, the same product in different types of packages, birthdays, graduation, surprise, bachelorette. Um, and as I said, we moved into stationery, so we have a lot of different cards, and there are a lot of sayings that can be turned into literal products.
Hmm.
Eat a dick, eat my ass, eat shit, suck a dick, eat my nuts, calm your tits. You know,
Yeah.
it's honestly endless. And I've literally really leaned into it, testing it, because over the years, like I'm a chocolatier, and I know how to make molds, and I know how to 3D print, and I know how to test, and I know how to make packaging. All that has really set up a way to test and validate products pretty easily,
Hmm.
when you're making chocolate, because you're not waiting for a manufacturer to make a product. Like, I can make it in house and test it. So
Yeah.
it's 60, 70 SKUs. It sounds like a lot, but some of them get 1 to 2 orders a month versus 5 to 6 thousand of our flagship product, which is the flagship, the dick. So
So how
um
you do? So you're sending 6,000 dicks a week, a month? How many dicks are you making averagely?
about a month. So we do probably, the summer is obviously, it's harder. Chocolate is hard to ship. It
Mm.
melts, things happen. And it's more of our slower time. We do about 3,000 dicks from on a month to month basis, from like May, June, July, August, and then it starts ramping up. Like our busy season, we're doing 20 to 30,000 a month.
Dick season.
Dick season, yeah,
Dick
yeah,
season.
gaggles of dicks,
Yeah.
gaggles and gaggles of dicks.
Oh my goodness. That is cool. What was it like? So, I mean, I imagine you can't just turn up at I don't know, a chocolate making facility and go, please make me a load of dicks. Like, how were you making those first few to send out to people? Like, was it just you melting chocolate on a hob and then just pouring it into a mold that you got at a sex shop?
Exactly. It was. I remember it. This was before we got our first chocolate. Before I bought my first. I say we. It's the relative. It's the
Yeah, the
what's the
collective,
word
the
I'm thinking of?
collective term. Yeah.
The collective term. Um, Before I bought the first chocolate machine, I was just melting, Hershey's semi-dark chocolate chips
Whoa.
and trying to pour it with a funnel. I remember the first time I got 10 orders in a week. Um, I didn't have any packaging, so I bought packages off of Uline, which in the States it's like your main source to get any kind of box.
Hmm.
Melted them. It took me like 6 hours to make 10 of them, and I thought, well,
Whoa.
I'm never going to do that again. Like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
And now we'll put out 800, 1,000 orders in a day sometimes. And but yeah, I was just pouring from a pan into a mold. I had one mold, and it's girthy, so you
Yeah.
have
It's,
to
it's,
wait for
it's a
it to
girthy boy.
set.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a whole process.
Wow.
And yeah, and then realizing, okay, do I want to continue doing this and figure out a more efficient process, or is this a stupid idea that's never going to go anywhere? And I don't know what made me choose to continue to figure it out, because it is silly. It's really silly. And now we have a full facility, chocolate making facility, with chocolatiers.
Yeah.
And
What does that look like now? What does that process look like?
so we have partnered with, basically did there's two ways I could have gone. I could have produced a commercial kitchen facility on my own,
Hmm.
which takes, one, a lot of time, two, a lot of red tape. The red tape is in the States, it's like, and in California, you have to be FDA approved, you have to have all your licenses, you have to have like, and it's a really, really long process because the bureaucracy of government is understaffed, and just, it's really hard to get those
Mm.
steps taken. So we moved into a warehouse that was right next door to who's now our partner, a family, David Mejia, and we partner with them to help us make. So basically, it's a co-manufacturing situation. So
Wow.
we get all of our cacao beans from Madagascar, Colombia. He grew up on a farm, in a cacao farm in Colombia. So we get a lot of our actual beans from Colombia, shipped up. They're roasted, and that's the whole process: roasting, grinding. So it's a bean to bar situation where we are really making
Wow.
a unique formula. Yeah. So um, and then it comes over to us. We package it. It's a repackaging situation, and again, that's, so he has the FDA, everything's, all the licenses. It's a vegan
Mm.
facility, so if we want to make vegan chocolate, and then we're what's called, license wise, a repackager. So we package it in our product. Bob's your
Wow.
uncle.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. I never would have thought that was the method you went down in order to do this. Like it was that the most, I imagine, was the most cost efficient way to do it, right? Instead of going down the whole other route.
Yeah, it ended up being that, and it was also the result of necessity. Like, not a lot of people look at. Like, I remember the first time I met with David, and I just basically sat down with him, and he's like, "So you want to make chocolate?" And I was like, "Yeah, but I want to make a chocolate dick." And I showed him my mold, and he just laughed. And it was him and his wife. They were a really small outfit at the time, um, and now they've grown. It's really cool. Their story's really cool too. But they were just like, "Yep, we're on board. We'll do it." And they were one of like 10 that we reached out to, and all of them said no. So it was like, I'm very
Did
thankful for them to be able
did
to.
they did the other people say no because of what the product was, or just because it just wasn't something they did?
100% the product. Whether it was them, whether it was them that felt uncomfortable, whether they were worried about their employees, feeling uncomfortable and feeling harassed, or because there's, there are
Yeah.
genuine issues you would potentially run into with, everybody's their own human and has their threshold. Yeah, I mean, super super thankful for them, because I was at my wet's end. This was after I had been making my own chocolate for like 2 years.
Wow. So
So I
so
had
it
four
so how many people were on your team at that point doing this? Like before you took
me.
it to someone else? It was just you making hundreds of penises a
Yeah,
day.
yeah, it was really
That's
brutal.
wild.
I remember my first like busy holiday season. I was making chocolate probably 21 hours a day, and then
Whoa.
packaging orders. Yeah, it
Oh
was
my
really bad.
goodness.
It was really bad because you have to, without going into so much detail, but basically you have to pour the chocolate. Then in chocolate making, there is, it's called tempering. So you get the chocolate and the crystals and the sugar crystals to hit a right temperature to mold, and that's how you get that nice shiny chocolate that snaps
Mm.
like your Hershey, not even Hershey bar, but like a good chocolate. If you don't cool it down at the right speed, creates what's bloom. The sugar breaks down and turns the chocolate white, on the outside. So it's still fine to eat, but it just looks
Ah,
really bad.
okay. Yeah. I've seen that before. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So like that was my biggest problem because I just had no idea what I was doing. I was learning on the fly. I had reproduced the mold to be like 200 molds, and I was pouring it and then getting 200 white bloomed dicks that looked diseased, really. And I was like, well, I can't sell these. So I'd have to go back, remelt it, and try it again.
Whoa.
That was what was taking, so many hours. But by that point, I was kind of pot committed, where I was like, well, I'm doing this full time, so whatever. It's
Yeah.
sweat equity. I'm enjoying it. I'm learning. Well, I wasn't enjoying it at that point when I was doing it 20 hours a day, but yeah, yeah, it was a
Wow.
process. So
And then at what point did you start to branch out to different products? Was that after it was not you making chocolate anymore? It was
yeah, exactly. Like, I was, by the time there was no room to even think about a different
Mm.
product. And I was really fortunate in that the reason that there was no time is because we were selling a lot, or I
Yeah.
was selling a lot, and there was, that was the beginning of influencer marketing. Instagram was what I believe TikTok is right now.
Hmm.
Is really wide open. Meme accounts, you used to be able to pay them 50, 100, $150 and get $1,000 in revenue. It's just like, it's
Hmm.
really, really easy. It was a very straightforward process. And myself being somebody who couldn't, you know, having a URL with the word dick in it really isn't easy to do traditional marketing. So I built almost all of this on influencer marketing, influencer quote unquote, maybe more
Yeah.
like meme accounts that are a lot of shit posting and just like, funny things. And that became my demographic. It's changed now, but um yeah, before I was able to try a different product, like I had to get somebody else because just slanging
Mm.
dicks was a full-time gig. I
Yeah,
couldn't
I
even
imagine.
think about the other thing.
I imagine it'd be difficult. So, I mean, talking about marketing, you touched on it a little bit there. I mean, it's, I imagine it's still and was incredible. I mean, it's probably got even harder now to market like your product entirely, like the majority of your product range. Like I come from a history where I used to run meme pages and stuff like that. So I know that area pretty well where, yeah,
Hmm.
you did have e-commerce companies come to you. They'd pay you $20, and you could see the clicks come in, and they were making absolute wedge from your one post on your meme page, which you post on 4 times a day automatically for some crap that you found on Reddit. Like I know that hustle, but
Yeah,
so now that Instagram, I guess it kind of is still that, but it's definitely not where it used to be.
right, right.
Where are you getting your sales? How are you marketing?
So we don't, I would say 99% of my marketing is not what I did to get to that first level of success. Like what you said with the meme
Mm,
pages, we almost never post with meme pages anymore. Instagram's pretty saturated. People understand ads.
yeah.
The knowledge of the user is pretty high. So cost benefit is really different now. So a couple of years ago, I started investing pretty heavily in SEO. Um, and that's been a lot of just the building organic because I burned through, I don't
Hmm.
know, my 4 business manager accounts on Facebook trying to get it through.
Whoa.
I used my fiance's, got those taken. I rebuilt whole websites with the note without the word dick in it, and like masked all products in Adobe so it would try to fool not the algorithm, but basically the crawler, Facebook's
Yeah.
crawler. None of it worked. None of it worked. So yeah, a lot of it is working on SEO, high quality traffic. It's very niche, as you can imagine. So a
Hmm.
lot of it is, really trying to convert the person who's most apt to convert, while also, relying on social proof, and UGC. People that receive them post a lot. So
Mm.
it's a really, I'm lucky in that my products have that viral aspect to it. Viral, in small
Yeah.
spaces. You get a dick, you're going to show your friend, you're going to show at least like 3 people. Hopefully one person shows up to the website, then I can find them. We do PPC on Google, so we can. That's a revolving door of getting ads disapproved and resubmitting, and I mean, it's a very tough, uh,
Yeah.
advertising for my products is really really tough, and it's a double-edged sword. It's really hard, which also means not a lot of people want to do it and try to like come into the world that I live in.
Hmm.
So I'm lucky in that, because it is very very nuanced at this point. 7 years down the road, 6 years down the
Yeah.
road.
What is it now? Is it just Google that the majority of your stuff comes in from? Are you touching TikTok now? Are you like whereabouts are you?
Yeah. So I think one of the things that's helped. So I bought a competitor who's pranksanonymous.com a couple years ago. I've been revamping the whole website and the product lineup for the last 2 years. Thought it was going to take 6 months, whatever. Um, so I have that, which is helpful in like top of funnel stuff.
Mhm.
Because our products are right next to each other, they're two different URLs. So I'm able to advertise that on Facebook. And
Okay.
that's just a process that's been a little bit more, again, because it still gets flagged. Like it's still
Yeah.
stuff that Facebook doesn't love. But yeah, Google is pretty straightforward with dick at your door. Um, we are trying TikTok. I'm really excited about TikTok. Their filters are really, really tough to get through. So, I've invested quite a bit of money trying, I'm still not to a final answer of, whether or not that's going to work. There's also the kind of the nuance of not showing the product, but showing the product, and
Mhm.
like it's a learning process for any UGC creator we work with, that it's like talk about it, but don't talk about it.
Yeah.
Create that kind of curiosity to at least get that click. So we
Mhm.
don't get a lot of from social media or any social platform. We don't get a lot of immediate purchases. It's a lot of top of funnel stuff. You introduce them to the brand because most people click out of curiosity, think it's funny, bounce.
Yeah.
So our conversions come further down the line. Like we get a very small amount in that top of the funnel, but you drop them into that, and we try to build all that traffic, like heavy traffic of I mentioned we have really high quality traffic, and then our new traffic on social is just shock on blast, like trying to get a bunch of people to check out the website as more of like a brand awareness almost. TikTok is, we'll see. I'm really excited about it. I think that I've started to see some success, and just learning, because it's very new to me, and I'm 34 years old now, and it's like, oh
Mhm.
shit, I got to learn a whole another social
It's
media
hard.
platform.
Yeah. Yeah,
It is,
it is
yeah.
difficult. Yeah. I mean, thankfully quite a lot of the stuff that we learn on Instagram and stuff like that does translate over, but it is certainly one of those platforms where you're a little bit like, am I just really old at this point? Like, is that it? Have I just reached that age where it's just really difficult for me to understand new things? We work with a lot of clients on TikTok, and we rely heavily on other creators and people younger than ourselves to help us, kind of grasp that platform a little bit sometimes, because they're chopping and changing things all the time. So you went from kind of making chocolate, making dicks in your garage, to now, a entrepreneur which owns two businesses in a similar niche. How have you dealt with that growth? Was it something that you really had to was it something that you really struggled with, dealing with that, and suddenly going from, was did you always plan on being an entrepreneur? Was it something that you plan on doing, or is it just fallen on your doorstep and now you're just here and you enjoy it?
I would say I always, it was never a plan to become an entrepreneur, but I always aspired to be an entrepreneur. I was not good at being a cog in the wheel. I think
Yeah.
the last three jobs I had before I went full time in this, I got fired from two of them because I was not for underperforming. I was just kind of a dick.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like looking back, like I wasn't a good employee because I bucked the system a lot. And then the third one, like they just ran out of money. It was a startup, but I think my journey was always going to end up in entrepreneurship. I think my personality, and I work on it.
Hmm.
I got to have control, and it's a blessing and a curse, because I at the beginning I micromanaged everything and made sure things were set and getting done.
Hmm.
But it's also been my biggest thing to overcome, is that delegation, and
Yeah,
truly trying to
definitely.
become an entrepreneur rather than somebody that works on a business. I think they're two very distinguishable different things.
Mm.
Being an entrepreneur has been, over the last year, I'd say, like with our employees, and being able to trust people and ask for results is really tough. Because I hold nobody's ever going to work harder than you on your own business. Um, So understanding that, learning that,
Hmm.
um, being able to rely on people has been really difficult, but it's also been some of the most gratifying pieces of it. I sell dicks, but like
Yeah.
I really want to
Yeah.
run a
A
good,
successful
efficient
business.
business
Yeah.
that people enjoy coming to work and working with me. And I want to be somebody that can be approachable. I want to be somebody that can help any employee. I know that none of my employees are going to be, I mean, most of them won't be somebody that's like, oh, I retired from Dick at Your Door. Like, that's not a thing. So
Hmm.
I want to, like, some of the most gratifying work I get now is being able to teach, my fulfillment guy who's in the warehouse, helping with that, like how that process is and what, logistics, and helping them understand ordering. And my life has changed drastically from, I was just like trying to make a buck, to now really wanting to create structures so that I can duplicate it. I mean, the goal is to be able to duplicate
Hmm.
and do something else, and do it
Yeah.
better the next time around. So that's a long answer to what could have been a short question or short answer, but
So now you own two like gag gift companies, I imagine. One of which you basically can't advertise on social media. One of which I imagine it's much easier to advertise on social. What's been your approach for the other brand?
so the other brand is, yeah, I mean, I love the idea of kind of elevating greeting cards. That's what I'm really excited about. It's a saturated market I am, that gives me confidence, oddly,
Mm.
way into dumb detail that nobody cares about. It's like, it's a big enough pie to get a piece of
Yeah.
it, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of how I look at any business. Um, but greeting cards, there's so many opportunities, and it's such a big
Mm.
industry that,
Yeah.
like, I'm really, really excited about it. We do, I'm working on a couple patents right now for greeting cards, and we have our trademarks, and like getting into the legalities of it, so that the validation that I'm seeing, how do I dovetail that into distribution? How do I get into retail stores, because it's more a retail product?
Mm.
Um, and also, being able to lean on my knowledge of shipping, and greeting stuff that's sent in the mail from one person to another as a gift. how
Mm.
do i how do I take that? The big question that I am working on this year is, how do I take that knowledge and sell more greeting cards? Whether it's that we're implementing video messaging with the QR code in some of our stuff. So you open a funny greeting card, comes from somebody that's like, congratulations, it plays a funny noise that loop. Like, our cards they're prank cards still. Like, we have one that's like jingle balls for Christmas. It was just a ball sack, and then you open it and it plays porn sounds nonstop for 4 hours, and you can't turn it off. and and then you have to, and the only way you can stop it is by destroying the card, and the card is full of glitter. So it's like,
Ah,
we
okay.
do a lot of that stuff. We do pop-up cards, so it's like you open it and it pops up, there's a dick in it,
There's
or like a middle
a
finger.
lot of dick related products. I feel like you'll never be able
Yeah,
to move away from the phallic shaped market. I feel at this point you have a real
at all, man.
speciality, a real niche.
Yeah, a very niche specific knowledge about the male anatomy at this
Yeah.
point. But sex sells, man. It does. It makes it
It's
hard, but
very true. Sex does sell. Yeah. I mean, talking about that, am I right in thinking this? You own the trademark to "eat a dick."
I do. Yeah, eat a dick and eat my ass.
We have to talk about that. How did that happen? And with that, has that opened up other kind of financial opportunities for you for owning like such a common phrase?
Yeah, so it has. It was a really difficult. We were actually part of. I wasn't like physically working on it. Our trademark lawyer was, but we were part of a Supreme Court decision, to allow lewd and, quote, offensive.
Hmm.
Like, that's not the right language, but basically lewd language, to be trademarked, because up until 2 or 3 years ago, you could not trademark it. So that was like, we became, without wanting, without trying to be part of the adult industry, in that lawsuit. So there was porn, there was adult companies that were trying to trademark, and then there was another company that was the main leader of the lawsuit. Was, can't remember the name of the company, but there was, everybody's seen it. It was the fuck. It said fuck, but it was FCUK,
Oh yeah.
and they were trying.
They're what, a
Yeah,
perfume brand, I think. They do all sorts of stuff, don't
it,
they?
yeah, yeah. So that was, they were the main driver of the Supreme Court decision to be able to trademark it. So they were the reason that we could trademark it in the end. Um, and yeah, it's been great. I mean, it for us, it protects us from, copycats
Mm.
in the United States, because we did go viral. People were pretty visible, and we see people pop up, and it offers licensing opportunity as well. Um, that's why we went ahead and got Eat My Ass too, because ass eating became popular 2 years ago on every meme page.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, I guess I'm gonna do buttholes and asses and chocolate now. And so
So
um
I cannot believe that you own the trademark to that. That is so wild. Yeah, has that become, like licensing opportunities? Has that been a major way for you to have competitors, to be able to just work with competitors instead of having to worry about them all the time?
yes, it allows us to. Some people are still dicks, pun
Yeah.
intended. Some people, everybody's, I get it. You don't want to pay for something that you think you made up.
Mm.
And so I try not to be a dickhead.
Yeah.
But I believe that even a very small niche that I like the one that I exist in, is big enough for everybody. And
Mm.
I'm very fortunate to work with people that do sell a lot of them just end up selling our product. So mostly, if you see a chocolate dick anywhere, it's from whatever website, it's ours. So it's pretty cool. It
Wow.
is a small world, but we've been able to cover it pretty well.
Do you intend on acquiring more kind of prank based businesses and, like, in the gift business, or is it something that you're kind of done with now and you're more interested in, like, in maybe just, the gift card industry, or, is it, are you going to create a prank gift empire is my question, I think there.
But because I want to be successful and I'm competitive in nature, my immediate answer is like, yeah, oh, I totally want to.
Uh-huh.
If I were to, in thinking of it, it's really hard. It's
Mm.
really hard. And um just from advertising and becoming and creating market space, because a lot of what I do is, it was a market that really wasn't there. So it's not, I'm kind of interested in seeing, like, not pranks in general. Obviously, I didn't
Yeah.
invent the prank. But you know I'm interested and excited about, I'm not really giving you an answer because I don't know, but I'm excited about trying something that's already in an established area. Um, but I'd love to figure out how to become the main prank
Mm.
gag gift. And there's a ton of opportunity there. We don't really sell on Amazon, and I know pranks, like, people buy prank related stuff over $1 million a month on Amazon, just on
Wow.
Amazon. So the volume is there, but it's a long process.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
as much as I would say yes, I'd love to. Don't know if I have maybe I do. It's just a slog, really.
Yeah,
So
I imagine. Yeah.
TBD.
So what's next? What's next for you? Is it, are you going to carry on with what you're doing, carry on growing things, growing both brands together? Like, do you have a roadmap for what you want to be doing next?
Yeah. I mean, we have our roadmap for uh, both pranks and Dick at Your Door. They've come to a fork in the road, and they're going two different ways, which is really
Mm.
exciting. Um, so I'm leaning pretty heavily into more chocolate and food based pranks and gag gifts. And we, like, you're the shit, and have it be like shit chocolates that are
Hmm.
like more like safe for work kind of thing, and more like
Yeah.
family, almost family friendly.
Yeah.
Pranks is just like, there's a really good opportunity to, build more product that are in the prank space versus just, hey, send a dick to somebody in the mail. I think those are the two roadmaps that's why they diverge. Is Dick at Your Door is becoming less of a prank company and more of like a funny product company and brand. Pranks Anonymous is kind of your catch-all. Any types of pranks from, the snake in the can that pops out to, a funny card. I kind of alluded to it, I think, at the beginning of our conversation. Like, I want to create systems that are replicable. There's e-commerce is and direct DTC, I'm in love with it. And like, I want to spend the rest of my professional life, trying and failing different things, and succeeding some places, hopefully. So that's what I'm really excited about. It may not be these products specifically, but the world of DTC and the opportunity that we have as like young entrepreneurs. I hope I consider myself young, in my mid 30s.
Yeah, you're still there. You're still there. Don't worry.
All right.
You did it.
To create and create. It's like the bar to entry is so low. Like you're almost incentivized to start something and try something. So that's what I'm excited about.
We ask all of our guests the same question. And with your history in both Instagram and and Facebook and things like that, with your troubles, if you could only ever use one advertising platform for the next 5 years, what would that be and why? It's a difficult one. Everyone's saying TikTok at the moment. Yeah.
So that's where my natural thought would be. One, I'm jaded by Facebook because of how, even when we do have products that are easy to advertise and shouldn't be a problem, we run into so many problems. Like, they almost like disincentivize owners, their biggest revenue drivers.
I totally agree.
Anyway, it's a whole different conversation. So I'm definitely not Facebook. I think, I don't want to go with the crowd, right? To go with the crowd, I think TikTok is such a big opportunity for my type of products because of their visual, because they're reactionary, and everyone's on there. On there. Like, I remember my fiance she was on it a couple years ago, and she likes to call herself an early adopter about it. Like, okay, whatever.
Yeah. She was a fan before we were all a fan. That's what it is.
Yeah, like TikTok's crazy, man. I think there's so much opportunity in the organic of it and building a brand, just like what we did when Instagram first came out and we were just getting started. Like, an opportunity to grow an organic following that's like super powerful. Like, your experience with meme pages, like just meme pages, just shit posting, is like, you can create a following and then drop a brand in there, and sure, you'll alienate a lot of your followers, but you also have like nurtured an audience, and there's so much valuable shit in that. And excuse my language, but I guess TikTok. And I talk a lot, sorry, so I just go off on tangents.
No, that's okay. Well, that's amazing. So I mean, that kind of wraps everything up. Thanks, Adam. Thanks for your chat. It's been really interesting to look on an industry which I don't think many people thought existed. I don't think many people thought that people were selling chocolate dicks, but now that you do, and I'm really excited to see what you do next. I agree that the greeting cards industry especially is massive, and I think there needs to be some change in there. Like, here in the UK, there are some DTC brands which are doing like greeting cards and stuff, but they're also samey and they're also like Karen-esque, as I'd say they are, and none of them are very modern and cool. So I'm excited to see what you do. Thanks very much for your time.
Yeah, thank you. This has been fun. A little really good to have some introspection every once in a while. So thank you very much for having me.
And that's it for the DTC Deep Dive this week. It's been a pleasure, as always, to have you. Do make sure that you subscribe on whatever platform you're listening or watching us on. Talking about watching, we have a YouTube channel where you can watch all the episodes. Just search the DTC Deep Dive. But until next week, have a fabulous week, and I shall see you soon.